Alcohol is the only drug on the planet where you need an excuse to not drink it. It's almost like when you try and not drink, there are forces out there that are pulling you down, wanting you to drink. But if you really think about it, the act of not drinking is so simple and so easy. It shouldn't require any effort. You just don't drink. But we all know there's almost a war that rages on in our head telling us to drink. But the reason why it's so hard to stop drinking alcohol is due to a missing thing. And in today's video, I'm going to break down that missing thing for you. So if you've already tried AA, therapy, rehab, or willpower, or anything like that, the missing thing that I'm going to break down for you in this video today is pretty much the key to making stopping drinking easy. So to understand what I'm talking about, I need to go back in time a little bit. So when I was growing up, my mum went to AA, and she actually went to AA when I was super young. I was like, I don't know, 5 or 6 or something like that. And to be fair to my mum, and to be fair to AA, the organization changed her life completely. So as my life progressed and I started dabbling with alcohol and other substances, when I finally said to my mum, listen, I don't want to keep doing this, what should I do? Well, she's going to recommend to me what worked for her. So my mum encouraged me to go to AA meetings. But I didn't really know if that's where I should be. I just kind of went along. It was kind of like, I'd heard it before in the past, if you've got a drinking problem, you're supposed to go to Alcoholics Anonymous, you're supposed to go to AA meetings. And if you really think about it, that's what society tells us that we should do. If you've got a problem, you should go and do 12 steps. It's very strange, but that's very integrated into our understanding of addiction. If you think about it, what do rehabs offer? They offer 12-step programs. What does a doctor recommend? Well, a doctor's probably going to recommend that you go to meetings. It's baked into our society. So I didn't really think anything of it. So I remember going to meetings and they would tell me, if you've got to decide if you're an alcoholic. And I remember thinking, well, I mean, if she is, if he is, yeah, I guess I am as well. I just went along with it. I bought into it. But then as time went on, I realized this isn't my place. I'm not like these people. And I ended up leaving. So during my journey, I have spent a lot of time unpacking a lot of the ideas of being called an alcoholic and buying into this idea that I was the problem. I don't believe that anymore. I've unpacked that. I've broken it down from first principles and realized that no, I was never to blame for the problem. But I ended up leaving AA. Now, I didn't stop drinking immediately after that. I went on a bit of a journey. But something recently happened that made me realize that it wasn't just about being called an alcoholic and saying that I was born this way and I'm going to die this way, but there was actually something else completely different to the method itself that stopped me from getting sober using AA. That will make sense in a minute. But to understand what I'm talking about, I need to bring it back to the present day. So actually, of all things, I've just started working with a new coach. Now, one thing that's really important with YouTube videos is telling stories. If you actually think of all the great videos that you watch, all the movies, all the TV series, all the videos on YouTube, they're all great stories. So a friend of mine recommended this individual to me called John, and we started working together. So he knows what I do. He knows the work that I'm doing. He knows I'm helping people stop drinking. And he taught me this really cool thing. He said that when you tell a story, people don't actually hear the story. They don't listen to every word that you say. What starts happening is somebody starts listening to the story and then they enter a story in their own mind. I'll give you an example. So my favorite movie of all time is The Godfather. And there's a scene in The Godfather, I can't remember the exact scene, but there's a scene that gives me goosebumps every single time that I hear it. It sends shivers down my spine. And it's when Michael Corleone says, never take sides against the family ever again.
Fredo, you're my older brother, and I love you. But don't ever take sides with anyone against the family again. Ever.
And it was like this man that was like fiercely loyal to his family. And when I heard that, it sent shivers down my spine because I was thinking, man, that's me. That's what I like. That's what I love. Fierce loyalty to your family. And I didn't hear what he said. What ended up happening is there was a conversation in my own mind, and that's why I related to the character. And guess what my favorite movie of all time is? The Godfather. But trust me, just bear with me because this will make sense and you will see how what I'm about to break down will make stopping drinking so much easier. But in the session with the storytelling coach, we started talking a little bit about AA. Because if you think about what an AA meeting is it's a story. Somebody goes and does a share, they talk about the story, and then they talk about the rock bottom moment, then they find AA and live happily ever after. And a lot of people like to go to meetings because that's what they like to listen to. They like to listen to a story. And they'll sit there and they'll be like, oh yeah, I remember the time in my life when that happened as well. And he told me this. And everything clicked. It was like this moment of, oh my word. I remember sitting in AA meetings and I wasn't nodding my head thinking, yep, that's it. Do you know what the conversation in my head was? The conversation in my head is, where am I? That person's nothing like me. I didn't drink vodka in the morning. I didn't drink my bottle of aftershave because I was desperate for a drink. I started hearing these stories, but the conversation in my head is, I'm nothing like you people. So I'm sat in these meetings and there was a argument in my own head. And that's when I realized something extremely important. See, if we actually break it down, like I said at the beginning of the video, the act of not drinking is easy. It's the most simple action ever. You just don't drink. And here's the problem. The information on how to stop drinking alcohol is everywhere. You know, there's probably 100 stop drinking books out there. There's AA meetings telling you not to drink. The information is so simple because we know that all alcohol is ethanol. It's a highly addictive drug. It does nothing for us. And this is when things clicked. It's not just about the information. When we're trying to solve a drinking problem, we know the information. We know that it's so simple. You just don't drink. But if I go, and this is no disrespect, right? Because I know that AA works for some people. Some people go to those meetings, they enter the conversation in their own mind going, oh my word, I've found my home, I've found my people, I've found my place. Beautiful. I'm so happy for those people. But I didn't have that experience. I went to AA and it was somebody that was nothing like me that was saying, my life's better without alcohol. And I'm thinking, no kidding, of course it is. But you are nothing like me. You don't drink like me. You don't act like me. You don't have the same goals as me. And I went to AA and I truly felt like I didn't find my people. So it was so difficult for me to buy into anything that anybody was saying. And I'm not saying that from a place of ego and arrogance. I just didn't resonate with those people, which is fine. But I just couldn't buy into it. Another example of this is a few years ago when I was just starting Sober Clear and started helping people. I started looking for a business coach. And I remember my friend was like, dude, you've got to check out this guy. He's going to be awesome. You know, he's helped my friends back home, whatever. He sent me this profile. And I watched this guy and I'm like, how is anybody paying this person money? I don't resonate with anything that he says. I can't take him seriously. So I could never buy into this guy's message. But that guy is selling the same information as probably the next guy. The information is out there. This is what I'm saying. But what makes the difference is the messenger. It's not just about the message. You need to find somebody that you buy into. Listen, for the people that I work with, they resonate with my message. They resonate with my story. I'm the person that can help them. For other people, like I said, they go to AA meetings. But even those people that go to AA and they find out that it's not for them, or the ones that read a book and they just realize this author's nothing like me, at least they're trying, right? At least they're open and they're looking for a solution. Because the worst thing that you can do is you can get so egotistical that you can sit around in your home and just say, do you know what? I can do this on my own. I don't need anybody's help. For some people, that works. For most people, myself included, it never worked. It would work for a short period of time, but long term, it would never work. So what is the answer? If you've been struggling to stop drinking alcohol, you need to find your person. You need to find somebody that has a message that you can fully buy into. That's the key. That's the key to stopping drinking. It's finding somebody that you can buy into. And this is a really personal thing that I'm going to share that I don't really want to share it, but I'm going to share it. But when I want to get a result in my life, like let's say when I wanted to get better at CrossFit, Olympic lifting, when I wanted to get better at speaking on camera, making YouTube videos, what I did is I found somebody in that area, and usually I'd pay them, I'd hire them, or buy a course or whatever, or just study what they're doing, and I'd emulate them, right? I'd emulate their ideas, I'd emulate their beliefs, and I'd emulate their actions. I'd try and become a little bit like them in that specific area, and it worked. I think Tony Robbins calls this modeling. When you find somebody with the result that you want, you start learning about their belief systems, their ideas, and then you start taking the same actions that they took. And that is a great way to get a result in life. Like I said, for some people, they're going to go to AA, and they were like, man, you're just like me. You've got the result that I wanted. How did you do it? Well, you follow this method. Well, I'm fully buying into this method. I'm going to do it. The problem is for the vast majority of the population is they don't resonate with people's messages in AA. So they try to buy into a method that they don't really fully believe in. So why do you think the success rate is low? It's not zero. Of course it's not zero. The organization wouldn't exist. But I promise you, the most important thing that you can do if you're trying to stop drinking alcohol is find the right person for you to help. Don't try and do this on your own. Don't try and do it in a vacuum. Because imagine what happens in your life when you solve this problem. I said it in a previous video. But when you solve the drinking problem, it creates a domino effect where solving the problem of drinking then knocks down the next domino, which is maybe working on your health and fitness, dropping that 20, 30 pounds. And then you start to feel more confident. So then the next domino drops where you're having a great relationship with your partner or you're even dating again, which hits the next domino. And then maybe the next thing is you're becoming more spiritual, more connected with God or having some other spiritual practice, which leads to the next thing. And then you're making a much bigger contribution to society. But these great things can only happen if you solve the drinking problem. Now, for some people, I'm the person to help them. If you think that's you, then go ahead, click the link in the description and book a call. I use something called First Principles Thinking, which helps people reframe how they view alcohol. And then we have coaching and a community of like-minded individuals that are all business owners, professionals, and high achievers. That's not for everybody. Some of you guys will just open up a book one day and the author is exactly how you want to be. You'll read that stop drinking book. It's the exact same information, but because you buy into it, it solves the problem. You need to find somebody where you can fully buy in. And I promise you one thing, I promise you with my life, you will find stopping drinking easy because like I said, All alcohol is ethanol. It does nothing for you. So if you take one thing away from this video, just kill your ego. Keep trying, keep looking for somebody, keep looking for help, because at the end of the day, it's not just about the information.